Nelson as we move on into the last round. These guys potentially playing for top 8 here in the Star City Games Open Series, Indianapolis. On your right is William Stevens playing Enchantress. On your left, Kenta Hiroki playing Wizards. We have Vendilion Clicks, Spellstutter Sprite, Snapcaster Mage, and Stoneforge Mystic. So it's like blue-white, but he's got Snapcaster Mage, he's got a Riptide Laboratory, a Moorland Haunt even showing up in Legacy. How about that?
Wow, really?
Yeah, Moorland Haunt.
Man, these cards are going everywhere.
You sort of feast and famine up a Moorland Haunt token, kind of like to live the dream with Stoneforge Mystic.
That is unreal.
But it's blue-white, no mental missteps, obviously, for very good reason. But it seems like Stifle has replaced that slot. Kenta's played a lot of the blue-white deck, and Stifle seems to have kind of filled the place where mental misstep would be. He expected a lot of combo, no doubt. Kind of surprised there isn't a second Riptide Laboratory, though. It seems like something this deck would play. It looks very similar to the Wizards decks of old. The Wizard, Mono Blue Wizard, Venser, Riptide Laboratory,
Definitely.
Shackles, etc. But all things you would kind of expect. Looking at the sideboard, nothing too out of the ordinary. 2 Flusterstorm, a little bit of commander influence there. But who do you think has the advantage here? Do you think it's Enchantress or Wizards?
I really don't know. I think at least game 1 I would say Enchantress because it's more centered towards one idea, and there's like cards like Swords and Batterskull and Stoneforge Mystic that don't seem like they're going to do that much. So, I mean, I always like the combo deck in game 1, but who knows? I really don't know much about it.
I feel like Enchantress is a little favored here. I feel like with Misstep, maybe Kenta would be favored, but without Misstep, Enchantress can do a lot of what it wants. A couple spell snares for Kenta, but I don't think those are particularly alive in this matchup. And looks like the players drawing their opening hands, and we're off. Kenta leads off with a Mutavault. And William cracks his Wood Foothills.
Waiting to see what he's going to do.
I'm just going to get some kind of land. The question is which land is he going to get here? Wants to make sure he can cast all his spells, checks his hands. And looks like he's looking. Does he have cards backwards in there?
He has cards backwards.
We'll have to fix that up. He might have after like fixing a sideboard for last round, or just maybe shuffle once wrong.
He seems nervous.
Yeah,
very nervous, very shaky.
Yeah, I mean, if he's potentially playing for top 8,
and he's never done it before. Yeah,
never done it before. I mean, that is. Remember the first time he played for top 8 of a major tournament, and it is.
Yeah, I went up to Wizards. This is the first time I learned about how promotional this game is. I went up to the booth at Nationals. I'm like, can I not be featured next round because I'm going to be playing for top 8? And they actually laughed. They're like, no, you have to be.
Yeah, would you like to continue? You can drop if you would like.
Yeah, you don't have to play the match if you don't want to.
All right, and so William eventually settles on a forest, gorgeous Ice Age forest. And there's the Mirror's Guile. So Mirror's Guile, for those who don't know, is the Sensei's Divining Top every upkeep. Every upkeep, you just get to rearrange your top 3 cards of your library.
That's pretty sweet.
So it gives you some card selection, so you keep getting the enchantments that you want.
All right, Mutavault comes in. Not the pressure that I would be afraid of if I was William.
All right. So the Kenta 2 lands, William land exploration, or sorry, land Mirror's Guile, rearranging some cards right now. And William's certainly taking his time. Enchantress is a tricky deck to play. It takes a long time. But he's going to have to speed up or he's going to end up with some slow play warnings. He's been playing incredibly slow so far.
Yeah.
All right. Draws a Blood Moon.
It's an interesting one.
Nice little one-up bullet there. Certainly could shut off some entire decks in Legacy. Could you play against the Bug deck and you Blood Moon them or something, and whew, it could be a rough time.
Yeah.
I think that was
Kenta's
being
even saying, like, you have to play a little faster. Look at how shaky he is. It's unreal. He didn't play
And so that's why
He has the enchantment land and he didn't play it.
Sarah Sanctum, was he afraid of it getting wastelanded?
Yeah, I think he's protecting against Wasteland.
All right, so William looks at his top 3 with Mirror's Guile.
Wow, look at that.
And picks up a card. And now he's going to play the Sanctum?
Now
Okay.
he plays it. He plays it just to protect it for a turn.
So now he gets 4 mana. And there's Enchantress's Presence. And Kenta's going to pretty quickly force that.
Yeah.
Kenta, Michigan native, I believe, plays a lot, knows Ari, and loves his blue decks, loves especially his blue-white Stoneforge deck. I talked to him a little bit earlier on a break, and he said he's made some small changes, added Snapcaster Mages, and they've been really awesome for him.
Yeah, his deck looks really sweet. I think, I mean, everyone said that this deck was going to fall apart a little bit, but having Snapcaster Mage Stifle seemed like without Misstep you can still like operate at a decent level.
Kenta serves in for 2 with Mutavault, not doing much else, just making that 2 extra damage. Will bring William Stevens down to 13 life. Just attack enough times, get that damage in. William draws a card and finds another Enchantress's Presence, looks like. And once that comes down, that just
It's the engine.
yeah, it's just the engine. I mean, any of the enchantresses are, but the Presence is an enchantment too, which is always nice. And there's Enchantress Presence. Alright, Kenta makes the same play, attack for 2 with Mutavault. He hasn't been able to do much else, just stuck on lands. William Stevens down to 11.
Mm-hmm.
But now maybe
he gets all the time in the world. This is a great clock for him.
Yeah, I mean, plus William just plays that Blood Moon, those Mutavaults turn off.
Yeah.
So William's in a...
Well, he still needs red mana somehow, right?
Yeah, but assuming he can find a land.
Mm-hmm.
Or, just play a Utopia Sprawl or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know how the Enchantress deck works, basically you play Enchantress's Presence or something like Argothian Enchantress, and whenever you play a enchantment, you draw a card, and then you just draw tons of cards. You can various ways you can lock them out, and there's an Enchantress there for William Stevens. Taps the Sarah Sanctum for 4 mana. This gives you a mana for every Enchantress you control. It's the white Tolarian Academy, the white Gaia's Cradle. Plays Solitary Confinement, which is part of the lock. Solitary Confinement says prevent all damage that would be dealt to you.
And you can't be the target of spells or abilities.
And, yeah, you have Shroud. So, and you skip your draw step, you have to discard a card every turn. But if you're drawing 2 cards a turn off your Enchantresses, yeah, then you can just lock them out, make sure that they can't attack you anymore. Kent defines his 4th land, but under Enchantress's Presence, William is in pretty good shape. And William rearranges with Mirror's Guile, chooses to discard, I'm sure, with Solitary Confinement. And some questioning about how the Mirror's Guile and Solitary Confinement were stacked.
Is that a Chromux? It looks like a Chromux. What is that, though?
And it's Chromux. That plays 2.
Oh, I was looking through the list. I didn't see them.
Yep, plays 2 copies of Chromux. William discards another Solitary Confinement, doesn't want the redundant one. Alright, taps. Or plays a land out. I think that's another forest.
No, that's Chromux. Pitching Blood Moon.
I was going to imprint the Blood Moon, okay. And that gives him access to tons of mana. Let's see what he pulls out here. Usually Sigil of the Empty Throne is one of the main kill conditions, as well as Words of War. We could see either of those come out sometime soon. But for now, he really just wants to build up enchantments. Well, there's the Words of War.
He does get a draw off one of them, right? Or do they both have to be coming into play?
No, it's whenever you cast.
Okay, so he will be able to draw off these?
Yeah, I'll draw 2 cards. The way Words of War works, you might not know what it does. It's weird enchantment. This deck plays a lot of corner case cards you don't really see anywhere else. It's a very linear strategy. Words of War is an enchantment that says 1, skip your next draw, deal 2 damage somewhere. So when you're drawing a bunch of cards, you just tap your Sarah Sanctum, activate it a bunch of times, draw 4 cards, 5 cards, then just burn your opponent out.
Yep.
So that's one of the strategies there. Kenta taps his island and goes for Brainstorm.
Yeah, so Williams is saying that those are still going to trigger, but in response to drawing, he's going to brainstorm. Might as well.
All right. So it points to brainstorm. Draws
Spell
Snare. Stoneforge.
Kenta's really good at helping us out.
Yeah, he holds his cards in a way that's very useful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenta. And all right, brainstorm finishes resolving. That Stoneforge Mystic is going to be good for Kenta. It'll allow him to, well, I guess with Solitary Confinement play, actually, it's not going to do anything. Never mind, completely ignore that. Yeah, with Solitary Confinement out, trying to figure out what is Kenta's plan. He can.
He's dead. He's dead to it. He wants to see more cards.
He's actually just
Yeah, he's dead to it.
I mean, assuming that William doesn't fizzle for some reason, which is pretty difficult to do when you have 3 Enchantresses present.
If I was Kenta, I would concede already. Because he wants to make sure he can get through all the games.
Right, and these games take a long time to play out. Especially, no offense to William Stevens, but at his pace of play. I mean,
Williams is playing very slow.
I'm surprised the judge hasn't stepped in. Maybe they have and issued a caution or something like that.
And maybe Kenta's saying I'll play longer because the games are going this way. But, I mean, once William gets comfortable enough to know he's just an engine, he will play at a faster pace. It's the early turns when he feels, insecure. Because right now, look at him, he's not shaking as bad.
There's Stoneforge, sure. Stoneforge Mystic resolves.
Yeah, Williams like, that doesn't matter. I don't know why Kenta went scoop here. Like, I understand, and because when I'm in here, I say that a lot, right? And some of my pro friends even, say that I concede too early in a lot of games, especially, some practice games, some things. I don't understand why people would continue playing a game like this. I might be too much on one spectrum, but I think this is a little... This hurts his chances of winning this match.
Right, and I think... maybe you can play one more turn if you want, just make sure that the last card in his hand is an enchantment or something like that. Or he's got several cards in his hand. He even has his engine and lock. The thing is, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to concede this game. Maybe something will still happen. But you have to ask, is the 1% or less chance that's going to happen worth the much higher
20% chance that
the game's going to time out? Because you want to be able to win the match. I mean, that's your goal.
Draw is not helping these guys.
Nope. So, Solitary Confinement goes away. All right, William sacrifices his confinement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that might be what Kenta was waiting for.
Wow. Why would he do that?
Because he has another one, I would guess. But he gets Force of Willed or something.
Mm-hmm.
Considering Kenta was actually just dead to a Solitary Confinement lock.
Yeah.
See what William chooses to do here. Taps.
Taps a ton.
3. Yeah.
He's got 8 in the pool right now.
Plenty of mana. Arilax walking by, just locked up top 8. Pretty. Wonder how many games he lost today.
Grove gets Spellstone.
Arilax playing Storm said he's lost 3 games all day.
It's pretty insane. I think he's a great favorite for the top 8.
I think he's a big favorite.
He's one of the seasoned players, and
also made top 8 both days.
Yeah.
It's Tempered Steel yesterday. Could be more different.
Just couldn't pull off a Jerry
yesterday.
Couldn't pull off the Jerry.
Oh, winning both. Well, can't have everything.
Yeah. Or when Jake and I were talking about Oscar trophy hands. That's what Jerry pulled off, winning both tournaments.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it looks like William's going to fetch up, finding a forest. All right, there's a forest. And I can't help but imagine there's another Solitary Confinement on the way. I don't think he would have cracked the first one if he didn't have a follow-up.
No.
Even then, I don't really like cracking the first one. I'd rather try and resolve the second one and then feel free to let the first one go away. All right. And William draws a bunch of cards. And gameplay continues. Enchantresses, I think it's Argothian Enchantress in William Stevens' hand. William also really needs to up his pace of play.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, he's playing slowly, and to top it off, same kind of theory for him, right? He's winning this game. He has to play it out, unlike Kenta, who could concede. He has to play it out. until Kenta's willing to concede. And if there's a game 3, he wants to make sure he can finish it on time. Enchantress is not a deck that wins quickly. So if even if you think you're making like a 90% play as opposed to the 100% play, if you're this far ahead in the game,
I agree with you on that completely.
Yeah, if you're this far ahead in the game,
you don't really need to make the optimal play every decision because your cards are generating so much card advantage that you just start putting them on the table and they go from there.
I mean, and obviously, you should make the best play whenever you can. But if you're this far ahead and you feel like you're pretty much a lock to win,
I mean, it's been his turn for the last 7 minutes, 6 minutes, right?
I mean, I've been keeping track, but
I think so. At least 5.
And all right, we're finally back to Kenta's turn. Plays what looks like a third Mutavault. I mean, we're not that far into this game for how long it's taken. And there's the one Repetitive Laboratory that Kenta has sitting out there, hanging out.
Stoneforge is not a wizard, correct?
Stoneforge is not a wizard. The rest of the creatures in this deck are.
Yeah.
So William Stevens did not have a follow-up Solitary Confinement. He just broke his confinement.
I don't know what's going on.
Alright, so Kenta activates Stoneforge Mystic, putting Sword of Feast and Famine, activates Mutavault, and equips, and attacks. William Stevens is going to take the damage, drop to 6 life, and have to discard a card.
I think Kenta's like, is this really happening?
I thought Kenta was just locked out, but I guess your opponent sacrifices Solitary Confinement and put him right back in the game. Kenta has some options now. He could try and lay a Jace, he could Snapcaster Mage, counter magic. Taps Mutavault, or re-equips the sword to Stoneforge.
And says go. He's like, do your worst.
Pass it back to William Stevens. Let's see if he finds
something to do.
Alright, so he's going to use Mirror's Guile.
Maybe he had to crack it because he did fizzle. He did run out of things to do.
I mean, it's possible he ran out of things to do.
Yeah.
Seems rather unlikely. Considering he had a couple cards inside. Okay, I think he's got another Confinement in his hand now. I think he's going to cast it right here. And it counts up his enchantments. And he's going to draw 4 cards off this enchantment. So every enchantment he has just says draw 4. It's a opportunity. Seems pretty good. It's like yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good.
You mean every card he plays is draw 4? Yeah. Seems decent.
I mean, I guess that's okay. Okay, so he's wrote down all the mana, finally cast Solitary Confinement.
Does it resolve?
That's the big question. Oh, and it resolves.
Yeah.
William's going to get to draw all those cards. And now, with all those cards, you should be able to lock the game out from here. William taps his Forest to bring out
a Wild Growth that draws 4?
Drop better than Ancestral Recall. That's what we just cast. The green Ancestral Recall.
How does Kenta stand this? He's fighting for it, but he's losing so much time.
I mean, I understand when your opponent's at 6, it's so tempting, but your opponent is not going to fizzle at this point. Maybe he wants to see what his opponent's win condition is, but he sees Words of War in play already.
He sees it already.
I mean, Williams can probably just... I mean, at this point, if I were Williams, I might just start skipping draws to try and kill my opponent as soon as possible.
Well, I don't know about that. You can go pretty deep.
I mean, you're getting 4 draws every enchantment. Like, tap for 5 mana, play a Wild Growth, shock him for 8, then he's just dead next turn. There's no reason to be all theatrical about it.
Yeah.
Your opponent isn't going to have main deck clean fall.
Does he have sideboard clean fall?
He also does not have sideboard clean fall. He does have sideboard surgical extraction, which is certainly a big deal, especially with Snapcaster Mage. So, you could potentially get something going on there. William Stevens is going to have to be pretty careful.
Just played Moat.
So plays Moat. Drew several cards off his Enchantress. Got a grip full of cards.
Alright, and he's starting to use the Words of War.
Alright, he's starting to use Words of War now? Or is he just removing mana from his mana pool?
No,
He went over there to write earlier when he tapped the Sarah Sanctum, so I thought he might have been writing
he's
down.
still playing cards, though. I bet he dealt some damage. Yeah, he dealt at least 2. Kenta goes down to 16.
Okay. So it started the process towards Words of Warring. What's that at the bottom? A library
It's a
of
moat.
rest?
It's a moat.
No, they're at the bottom of Williams' library? That was moat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Same card that was in play.
Oh, yeah. That's what it looks like. Fair enough. Looked like a rest for a second. I was like, that's an interesting choice. Jason Lieber points out that Chrome Mox is a problem in Enchantress because it leads to getting clogged on solitary and confinement. You have to pitch a good enchantment, even though it accelerates you. Could be an issue. This game, maybe he wouldn't have had to do that. He wouldn't have had to sacrifice his original solitary confinement. In any case, Elephant Grass comes down for William Stevens. Kenta Hiroki at 12. And at this point, if you're Kenta, you just absolutely concede.
Yeah, there's no reason to play this. Like, I actually don't. I don't understand it. I mean, he's hurting his chances of winning this match every minute he stays in this. Not only is William playing very slow, but Kenta's not helping it, allowing him to take that much more of the clock. He's eating so much of the clock up on accident, but.
All right. William looking through his hands. All right, Kenta draws. He's probably just going to concede, right? No, it doesn't look like it. He's a valiant warrior. All right, passes the turn back to William. And hopefully William just kills him right here. All right. And all this stuff is going on. Words of War is going to trigger a bunch of times.
Gonna shoot him a lot.
Just gonna shoot down Kenta. Plays an enchantment. Draw a bunch of cards. All right, Kenta finally concedes, and they're off to game 2. Now the players are gonna sideboard. Let's dive right into the sideboards here. Let's start with the Enchantress player. How do we think he's gonna sideboard?
I don't know.